Hello.
Welcome
Sorry.
to the After Dark Book Club. Which,
Finish
can I tell
studying.
you, now that we're reading Immortals After Dark, reread, it's kind of funny that we've called it After Dark Book Club. Like, I didn't even
I
put two
know,
and two
right?
together.
Like, I didn't think about that
Think
either.
about it. Hi guys, I'm Marcy.
I'm Darcy.
We're here to chat. Like, we just got done chatting about some other stuff, and I was just like, hey, I've got some thoughts as I'm doing the reread. You wanna do it live? She was like, sure, why not? I got a couple minutes, which I think is cute that you think it's gonna be just a couple minutes. Just gotta say. Okay, so if you don't know, Kresley Cole is back. And
there was much rejoicing.
Love Kresley Cole, y'all. She is back. She is releasing Monroe next month. So in Everybody's Infinite Wisdom, so many people are doing rereads of the entire Immortals After Dark series, which did we say last time it was 17 of them? Or like this is book 18?
I think it's
something
18.
like that.
I think Monroe is 19.
Okay.
I think
It's
Monroe
one
is
of the
19.
two. I can't remember.
And we have to be careful. We have to be careful because we were given information in a Facebook group that we are not allowed to share outside the group.
Right. So I'm not going to, but what I did is I put a link to the Facebook group if you want to join it in the video description box below.
It's a lovely group of people who have lovely conversations about these books.
Yeah.
I'm very much involved.
So much.
It's a whole moment.
The girl who runs it, her name is Naomi, which I got a thought about that. She also runs stuff for Gina Showalter, who, if you don't know, Gina Showalter and Kresley Cole are friends. So Naomi runs stuff for both of them, which I find interesting because one of the main characters in book number 2 is Naomi. Or no, not the 4. Book 4 is Naomi. The dancer, Naomi.
Yes. Yeah, I was just making sure I knew who her mate was.
It's 4. And so I was like, I wonder if she was named after her. Or, the book characters.
Yeah.
Anyways, Naomi does an excellent job. She runs the group really great. It's very focused on Kresley Cole. You're allowed to suggest other books and stuff, but it's a Kresley Cole group. And Kresley is in there.
Yeah.
You don't know she's in there. She's not representing herself, but she's in there reading stuff, doing all the things. So anyways, It's a wonderful group. I put a link in the video description box below. She has been giving blurbs and stuff like about Monroe.
Like we got the back blurb of Monroe. Like we got the book blurb.
Completely unexpected.
So unexpected.
The direction everything's going, I did not expect.
Not what I thought. But now that I'm reading again, and like I want to be clear, like last night I was trying so hard. Okay, so like I was in my car and like holiday traffic in my city is terrible. Our road system was built in my town way before everybody moved here. And now that's the population of just the college. So traffic here, you can sit through one light 10 times. Like that's not uncommon at the holidays, okay? So yesterday when I'm driving around, chiropractor, post office, pick up Christmas presents, do some stocking stuffer shopping, which is all the same shopping center, but still took me like forever to get around. And then like waiting for the, poor overworked retail workers took forever. So I was like, well, I'm getting it on, get my book on, right? So like I'm listening and I'm like.
Because you're on book 1.
Yeah, I'm starting over. Like I only just started over and I was like so into my new theory about this book that I'm like.
Because I'm on book 11 right now.
Right. So like I'm back on book. Well, it's technically book 2, but I think of it as book 1. But
yeah.
It's Lachlan and Emmeline. And I forget how there's another thing I want to talk to you about too.
Okay.
So many things. But so I'm reading it and like I'm in my car and I'm like, oh, I need to tell Marcy. And it's like I'm voice texting her over and over and over again. I'm like, she's so tired of me right now.
No, I love it because I was like, yes, I'm there for it. Because I'm picking up on so many things.
Because there's so many things. Like the world building that Kresley Cole does is so detailed that like she has to know, for her to be putting this kind of minutia in her books, she has to know every plot point to the end of the series.
Mm-hmm. It's got to be, because even right now,
that kind of planning is astounding.
I just caught something in book 11 that I don't think I've ever really caught before, but I've caught it now.
Who's 11?
11 is Declan Chase.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yes, Declan Chase. Yeah. And Regan. And so I've caught something in it and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like that plays out down there. I was like, oh, I didn't expect that. You know what I mean? Because this is when you're introduced to Thad. You know, you're introduced to a little bit more, not introduced to Lanthe, but a little bit more about Lanthe. And then you have, obviously right before this was the Veman Dampire, like the Dampire. You know, whatever.
Empire. I know who you mean.
Yeah.
I love that story too. Like the demon.
Love that story.
I love that story.
Oh, I read it and I was just like, oh, I love this one. I love this one.
Here's the thing. I'm always like, this one's my favorite to whichever one I'm currently reading.
I love Gareth.
And then I get to McCreeve and I'm like, nah, this one's my favorite.
Yeah, I love McCreeve too, but I love Gareth and Lucia. Like, yes. I love that one.
I love that one. I also love Lothair and Ellie.
Yes.
I love Bowen and Mariquetta.
Yes. Sebastian and Katerin. I love Sebastian and Katerin.
I love Sebastian and Katerin.
But I love Lachlan and
I love Lachlan and Emmeline too.
Emmeline. Yep. Who? This was where you were talking, because I was thinking it. She's got a big role coming up.
Because here's the thing. So she has to have a big role coming up. Now, I've read these books probably 3 or 4 times at this point, like all of them. Because every time they were like, Monroe's coming out, I'm like, reread.
Yes.
Reread. So now that we have like an official date, I am like deep in it. Okay. And now I'm so like looking for things that, like, yesterday I was doing math. Like I did all the math for my cuts, and like I finished the last prototype, and like I did all the things. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to listen to my book while I work. And I was doing, I'm like, meh, I'm missing things. Pause. So I literally listened to like 5 minutes of my book while I was in my studio because it didn't work out. But in the car, I was listening, and I was like, they talk about how in the first, like in the book that I'm currently reading, which is Hunger Like No Other, which is book 2 in the series, is so good. She is terrified. Like in the beginning of this book, she's terrified of her own shadow. Mm-hmm. She doesn't know how to trace. Mm-hmm. She can't lie. She cannot lie, but she's good at telling half truths. And she has powers. So, and
guys, she doesn't know who her family members are.
At this point, she does not know who her family members are. She does not know. But here's the other thing that I think is super interesting that they have not talked about. She's pointed ears.
She does.
But I know who her parents are because I've read it before.
It's from her mom.
Is it?
Yeah. Her mom is a sister to Nyx.
That's right.
That's where the 3 comes in.
That's the 3. That's correct.
That's the 3.
That's the 3. And I think that, like, because you don't see Lachlan and Emmeline, you don't see them for like 6. I mean, like, you see them, but like very tangentially. So like, you don't see them for 5 or 6 or 7 books. And then towards the end of what is currently published, she is a mentor to Thad. She is a mentor to Thad's sister. She gets involved with the Dark Fae and his story. She is active in her coven and with Nyx and her sisters. She has like she's the
leader of the Lycae.
She's the leader. She's the queen of the Lycae. Like, so she has a massive role and holds an immense amount of power. So after reading the blurb on the back of Monroe, which was not how I thought it was going to go.
Did not. And I just got to say La Dorada here, so I remember to talk to you.
Okay. Oh, yes. Yes.
I've got to tell you. Okay. Just keep going.
Okay. So after reading the blurb from the group, if you want to know what it is said that we cannot share anything.
It says we are not allowed to share it.
We are not allowed, and we are not breaking that confidence.
Yes.
So having read the blurb, knowing what I know about Monroe, what Monroe is willing to sacrifice, and since I know for a fact that Mariquetta's already used her powers in a way that saved someone, so I think she's off the table because she's already done it.
Thorn's key that goes back in time to save people. Those have been used.
So Thrawn's key can't be used. Mariquetta has already saved someone's mate. So I think she's off the table because I don't think Bowen would let that do again. Because he's like, this is going to hurt. And he was right. I think that to save there's no way that the Queen of the Lyca would allow Monroe to do what the back of that book says he's trying to do if she has the power to possibly save his mate.
Because okay, so I'm gonna put a spin on it.
I don't like. Okay, go.
Okay, so I'm rereading this one. I gotta think of what okay, it's Immortals After Dark, Dreams of a Dark Warrior.
Okay, because you're on Regan and Declan.
Regan and Declan.
Okay.
When Declan is in the room with Lothair before he like burns him to death, like not to death, but burns all of his skin off.
Close to it.
Lothair, remember, is trying to get him to touch the ring, but he has his gloves on, right? He's trying to get him to touch La Dorada's ring.
Right.
And Lothair mentions in passing, I can't remember if it was in a thought or if he actually says it out loud to Declan. He's like, she's coming for it. She can find me. And then he says, she could find me even across time. She could find me in time. Now, knowing what you know, that little snippet lets you know that La Dorada has the ability to time travel.
So that would be the thing.
I'm just saying La Dorada.
I think that's the thing. Because like I knew La Dorada was going to have to come back and play a major role. Like we know La Dorada, like ring, like you know she's coming back.
It's so creepy.
Can we also just take a minute because like Robert Petkoff, okay?
Oh, he's so good, and he is reading Monroe. He's like the best narrator, you guys. If I could share a snippet so you guys could listen to it, I would, but you can't. Go to Audible.
Like, go to Audible, play a snippet. You won't be upset.
He's amazing. He's so good.
So I've also noticed another thing. She set this up in book 2, okay? So this is a thing we've noticed throughout the whole series. People who have gone slightly mad or are crazed in some way, whether it's from torture, bad choices, choices foisted upon them that they did not choose, things like that. So the very first, and I have not read Warrior Like Noah or what I've not read that one.
The Warlord One's forever.
I have not read that one. So here's the thing that I've noticed that she's built. As the series progresses, the craze that mates solve is like a scale from white to black, right? Like if white is the least crazy and black is the most crazy, right?
Mm-hmm. I got you.
Okay. So Lachlan's torture, then Conrad's choices.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then the next big one would be Lothair's edge. He's on the edge. Mm-hmm. He's not quite there, but Ellie fixes it.
Mm-hmm.
Then Bowen's sort of in there, but that's like a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then Lothair.
We have Sloane, right? Malcolm Sloane, he was a slave.
He was a slave, and she heals him.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And we have Declan Chase, who is
Declan Chase.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like it gets darker and darker and darker. Like their craze gets darker and darker, darker and darker. And the more and like if you think about it, like Emmeline is the least powerful at the beginning of the series.
Yeah.
And if you look at like Declan and Regan is powerful.
Yes.
She's the last of the shining ones. Like she's a powerful Valkyrie.
Right.
And Declan is a very powerful, I'm not going to say what he is.
Yeah.
So like as it progresses, like the power skills also changing. So I really genuinely believe that who you and I agree must be Nyx's mate. This is leading to her sanity.
It's gotta be.
It's gotta be.
And how cool will that be?
Is she also the queen of accession? Like, please, y'all, just
gotta be.
Let's go.
Yeah. Well, you also have Bettina, that we don't know what her powers are, but she's gotten them back.
Yes.
The sorceress. And then, but that also brings in Morgana, who's crazy.
Crazy.
And evil.
But she's evil though. She's Team Horde. She's not team good guys.
But then you have La Dorada, who they don't like each other. And so how is that gonna pan out?
I'm also wondering if the Dorada Morgana thing, if that forces one of them to switch sides. which would make sense because if Nyx is pulling all of the strings, she knows which, because Nyx can see it. Obviously, Nyx can see the end of the succession. She knows how it ends and how it has to end for there to be peace. Like, that's my thought, is the end of it that there's no more accessions. Right. That the horde is done. Because all of the mates that she's matching up are making it so there will be no one to lead the horde. Right.
Well, the horde just won't be the horde anymore.
Right.
I think it'll be the, you know who I think it'll be. But yeah, Kristoff. I think Kristoff will run it.
Well, that's because he's awful.
Kristoff? No, Kristoff is good.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the wrong guy. Sorry.
Yeah. No.
Kristoff. Yeah, it won't be the horde, but that's what I'm saying. Like, there won't be anyone to have conflict. Like, there won't be any more accessions because there's no one to go against each other. Because Kristoff, right. Sorry. Took me a second.
No, you got it.
Because like the Dacian even has a level of, and like, God, what's her name? The cold one. I can't think of, she's a Valkyrie and she's.
Oh.
It's the last brother. It's Sebastian.
Untouchables. Yeah. Untouchable is the name. All right, hold on. I'm gonna look it up.
Sebastian, Conrad. What's his name?
Hold on.
What's his name?
Hold on. I'm gonna get it to you. Just give me a second. Okay. Give me 1 second. Why is the description does not say his name? There's Conrad, Sebastian, Murdoch.
Murdoch.
Murdoch, and what is her name? Now that story, honestly, that one was harder for me to get through because it was like a replay of previous stories.
Yes, I agree. It's not my favorite of them. Yeah, it's not my favorite story.
Got to new content.
Right. It's not my favorite story, but like that.
It was important story though.
I feel like that's like, for the fact that story is kind of outside of the timeline, if that makes any sense, like it doesn't tie to anyone else except at the very end.
It's happening while all of these other stories are happening. So what was hard, it was Dani is her name. The hard part is that as you're listening to Dani and Murdoch's story, Murdoch is still involved in Sebastian's story, is still involved in Conrad's story, is still involved in Lucia's story, I think. No, not Lucia's. I think it's those, like there's 3 Bowen's, Conrad's, and Sebastian's. Like he's kind of involved in those. And Dani's doing her own thing here. So you're kind of getting a recap of what he was doing over here while this is happening here. But it isn't until like all of those are done when finally you get essentially the Dani and Murdoch snippet of, okay, let's just build on their story here.
Right. But
it's important because it ties Murdoch into these other stories, and it fills that gap of, well, Murdoch is blooded, but who is his person? And then you find out who it is and why they haven't been around. And it's just, it's not my favorite of the series. It's not terrible. I mean, it's still Kresley Cole. It's great.
Yeah.
But you know, when you're like hunger for something new,
it doesn't. But here's the thing: like that one, of all of the stories moving the plot forward, that one kind of stagnates. That's why that's why you don't like it as much.
Yeah.
Because like, even though you know him from these other stories that he's been involved in, and they are all like, he's blooded, you're wondering why, you're wondering who it is and where he's going, but their story doesn't progress the plot.
Well, I think what will be interesting though is the ice place, Isengard or something. It's not Isengard, it's wherever it is, the land. Because of that connection Dani has to them, I think they'll play a part in the accession.
Oh, absolutely. There has to be. They'll be arranged that if it did not. So I do think that's going, like, I think when a story like that is stuck in the middle of a series and it doesn't necessarily progress the plot like the other books do, I typically, that's like a red flag in my head of like, there's some detail in here that she's buried, that she thinks no one's going to notice, that she's going to come back to, and you're going to be like,
well, like in that story in particular, the king that who ends up being king is like he had other plans than to take over, but they never say what those plans were. So it makes you kind of wonder what that is. But I think what's interesting, you're absolutely right, when it's kind of stuck in between a whole series, it's like what's happening here. But if you notice, all of the offshoot lands that now we're getting to be I don't know what the word is. Accomplice is what keeps in my head, but that's not
allies.
the word. Thank you. Allies that are now coming in. Like we have the what are they? They're the
Dacians? The Dacians?
Well, yeah, you have the Dacians. Not the one I'm thinking of the McCreeves person.
Oh, the succubus.
Yes. Thank you. I'm like, what is the word? So you have the Dacians, you have the succubus, you have the ice people, you have the devil's land of
all of the hells.
Yeah, all the hells.
All hells.
You have
the sky, dark sky.
Yep.
Who are somehow
the Reckoners,
not demons, but whatever.
The Reckoners.
The Reckoners, right?
Yeah, and then you have the demons.
And then you have Bettina's people.
Who yes, you have the Bettina's people. You don't know who we have anything with that because that world all died. But I think that their dad is one of the Morior. Honestly,
I agree.
Yep,
I agree. I don't know which one though.
I think it's the vampire.
I'm not sure that it's the vampire.
Really?
I'm not. I mean, that's the most logical sense, but like you always like her thing is that you always the first thing that choose your mate is the creature that you hate. So like Bettina hated I want to say Thanos. That's not right. Thane. I always just call him the Dacian. Okay, like that's
yeah, the Dacian.
In the book. He's called the Dacian.
Yeah.
So Bettina hated the Dacian. Lachlan hates vampires. Bowen hates witches. Like all of it is always the thing you hate. It is you always have to overcome a prejudice.
But okay, so I don't understand how that can't be her dad.
Because I think the Morior that's like leading the charge, that he's like the first shifter or whatever, that we think is Nyx's mate. I think he's a shift. I don't think he's a shifter. I think he's a primordial. I think that he can do everything. I think he can be all of the things.
Okay, but so you think that's her dad?
Yeah. It's just too obvious for it to be. I don't know. Maybe it is the vampire. It just seems
the question here though is because I mean she's with Sweet Ruin, Ruin, and then but wouldn't I mean has she met Ruin's people from the Morior? Has she met him?
I think they have.
So maybe that can't be you.
And I think that's maybe why, because when Ruin takes her to meet them, he's the only one not there. Which also leads me to believe what I told you about
Bertiel.
Which was a fan theory in the group that we're in.
That's very interesting.
Because also, when does have her most clear moment?
Clarity. Yeah.
When she's talking to Bertiel. Because he's the only I think she did meet them. Or she's going to. I don't know.
You froze. I don't know where you are. La 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 la. Am I frozen or are you frozen? I don't know. I'm sure she had something very prolific that she'd like to say.
Okay, sorry.
There you are.
Sorry. My neighbor, I know this is going to sound super insane, but my neighbor is mowing his lawn. Don't know why. Nothing's growing. It's everything. Your yard is dead. It's fine. And when he mows the lawn, sometimes our internet gets weird and we have no idea why.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
But I think that I want to say that she did meet the Morior.
I think she did too.
I think she did. And the person who wasn't there was the leader of the Morior, which is why I was like,
maybe that's it. I don't know. I found it interesting in the group. Everybody's talking about like the different stories we'd like to see, right? Yeah. You know, a lot of people are like Thad. And so he was like, somebody was all, but he's a teenager. I was like, no, he's not. He is very, very old. He is not a teenager. So I would love to see Thaddeus' story.
I want to see Thaddeus' story the most is because Lothair is going to be a part of it, even though Lothair does not want to be a part of it. And Thaddeus is going to be like, Mr. Lothair. And I love it.
You know,
so like Lothair is like, we are not friends. And Thaddeus is like, yes, we are, Mr. Lothair. I love it.
I think what's great about rereading this book that I'm on with Declan and Regan is that that's our introduction to Thad and to Natalia. Is it Natalia, the Dark Fae?
Yeah.
And watching their interaction in the cell,
yes,
it's like, you know, when she's attracted to him, she calls him Tiger. I'll let you read and learn that all your own, but you can see she's attracted to him. There's got to be something there. And then when you get to Sweet Ruin, you can, you know, you learn,
why it has to be those two people. Like, you know, it has to be, especially because Rune meets her. He meets Natalia.
Yeah,
and they're like, this is no
right, because he's a Dark Fae.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just interesting because they're far and few between. I also want to know, who was Hag supposed to go meet? That she was like 500 years late to meeting.
And I think we know who it is, but we don't I think we've met that character.
I think
we don't know who it is.
Right. I actually think it's the really awesome demon.
Rydstrom.
Nope. He's one of the outlier ones that travels around and goes and helps people.
Oh, yeah, the one that Kadion was living with. What is his name? He's always poofing in and out.
Yeah,
because he's getting called by all of his lovers.
Yeah. Yes. What is his name? I think it's him.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
I mean, why not?
Which would explain why he's like, I'm never gonna find a mate. Like, that explains why he would do that. And like, that's a good theory. The other person, who was the other one? Like,
the other one is talking about. It could be Dash.
That's who I'm thinking of. Is that not who you're thinking of?
No, Dash and the other guy is different. The other guy that
Dash.
Kadian didn't live with Dash.
I thought Kadian lived with Dash.
No, but Dash did meet. Dash becomes friends with Thad's sister.
That's right.
Remember? Because they drink. Don't they drink? Or am I thinking of somebody else? I know they become friends. Dash becomes friends with Thad's sister.
That means that, yeah.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna look.
I think it could be Dash. I really do think it could be Dash.
I'm gonna see if it comes up. Kadian Woed. Who does he?
Yeah, because it's the three of them. There's the Woed is like, they're called something.
There's like a whole fandom page. I have just stumbled upon it. It is. It's called Immortals After Dark, IAD.fandom.com. Wow. I might have to spend some time here. I don't see who I gotta look, y'all. I gotta keep looking here because we're gonna find this out. Sabine, the vessel. I thought it started with an R. Next tells Rydstrom, Kate plans. This is because then he arrives during. Oh gosh, I don't know. Somebody who's watching with us that knows all this, help us out. Allison, Brianna, Cade, Dorinda, Maya, Nilsson, Puck, Rydstrom, Zoe. I don't know. It's not Dash. He didn't live with Dash. He lived with somebody else, though. I thought it started with an R. I didn't think he lived with Dash.
Where are you?
Rook. R-O-K.
Rook. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Here, I'll send it to you. I'll send you.
I got it. I found it.
I'm like, how did I get here? Yeah, I might have to spend some time in here a little bit. I don't know what this is all about. And they're rage demons. Anyways, it's either Rock, or Rock.
I think it's Rock.
Or Dash. Rock, or it's Dash. Dash is the one that I really thought it would be.
Yeah.
So anyways, there's that. That's who I think. I would love to know the Hag story, though. I'd like to know the Hag. As much as I'm interested in the female vampire from Daisha, like, yeah, she's gonna be fine, but I'm not like super interested in it. I'm like, she's kind of a boring character to me. But that's
because
me.
the other thing I was gonna say about like the craziness that your mate fixes, because they know where Fury is, they are going to go get her. Full stop.
Yep. Because
Lanthy
found her.
Lanthy found her. Wait.
Yeah, it was Lanthy. It's in Dark Sky when she sees her outside
That's right.
Nereus's place.
Right. I was thinking it was during the high, but you're right. So Lanthy found her, and they're like, the Valkyrie will go retrieve her.
Yes.
With full stop, that is happening.
Yes.
But she's going to be so maddened from that experience.
Awful.
I can't. So much worse, even though Lachlan's was bad, hers is maybe worse. So I'm interested to see how long it takes her, because like Conrad, it took a while. Like, it takes longer and longer with each person, which is again another vote in the Bertil category. Just saying. And I'm wondering how, because I think I'm wondering if that will be the next, if it'll be Monroe and then Fury.
You think it'd be that?
Do you think it'll be Thad first?
I think Thad.
You think Thad and then Fury?
I do.
I could see that. Because Monroe will be crazed at a certain level. We know that from the blurb we got at the end of McCreeve. Not fair, Kresley. Not fair.
Many years ago.
So hard. So I've just been drooling.
You know what? Imagine her as an author, like having to sit on that for this long. Like, she never
I couldn't keep that secret. No way.
I couldn't imagine.
I think Fury has to happen soon, because Fury's also been down there. She has secrets. She knows things that are going to be important.
Yeah.
Because Nereus is definitely not on the good side.
No.
However he needs to meet his end, I'm here for it. I don't care who does it.
I love it.
Am I thinking it's Fury? Yes. Am I excited about it? Do I want it to be super bloody for him? Also, yes.
I think that's so great. So, for all of you who don't know, it comes out January 25th, 2022. That's when Monroe pops out on the scene. Very excited about it.
You can pre-order it almost everywhere, I believe.
I don't think you can pre-order on Audible yet. I haven't.
Not yet. I keep checking.
I'm going to go look right now, actually. I don't see it here, y'all. But just so you know, all of the books are on Audible except one. There's only one that's not on there. All the others are. I mean, they're fantastic. Whether you own the books, like hardback books and stuff, and then you're like, oh, but should I buy the book? Yeah, you should buy them. They're really good. Like, the Audibles are just so good. I think they're all on here. I'm looking on here. I think they all are.
I've got all of them except Shadow's Seduction.
Yeah.
It's the only one that's not on here.
Okay. So yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yep, 18. Shadow Seduction. That one's just not on there. Yeah. So you'd have to read that one. But 19, Monroe, comes out January 25th, which I will be in Mexico on the beach listening to Monroe. Because
I will be here, probably sewing. Also listening to Monroe.
Taking that week off. So I'll be on the beach. Very excited about that. Super excited about this reread. I'm going to get through all of them. Especially I'm on 11 right now, so I'll get through no problem. You're just starting. You've got a lot to go. Yeah,
but I also have Hankmas between now and then. So like 12, 14, 16-hour days. Like,
you're going to be great.
I can do a book a day.
Yeah. I mean, but they're long books as they get further into the series.
They get further. And like they're 10, 10, 12, 8. Like Untouchable is 8.
The one 11.
12,
I'm on
14. Dark Warrior. What you're on is 14.
Yeah.
Look there.
16.
15.
Shadow's Claim. I like Shadow's Claim.
McCreeve is only 13. I feel like that book moves way faster than 13 hours. Dark Skies 14. Sweet Runes 14. Wicked Abyss. I love Wicked Abyss.
I like Wicked Abyss too. Although I do really like Shadow's Claim. That's the one with the Dacian.
I love Shadow's Claim's one of Dave's favorites. Dave loves Shadow's Claim.
It's just really good. I really like it a lot. I don't know. I'm excited. So all of you out there who are watching, let us know if you're on the reread. Where are you? Which book is your favorite? Is this your first time reading Immortals After Dark? Like, let us know that. Like, what are you thinking so far? And if you joined the Facebook group, say hi. Let people know that you joined us. Yeah. Joined there from us. I mean, I don't think I'm going to go in there and promote our show here or anything, because I don't think it's the type of thing that you would promote things like this. But you never know. People want to watch. They might want to watch. I have no idea. It's exciting just to be able to talk and chit chat and talk with other people who know the books and just get excited. And I love that most people are like doing quotes from some of the books. And I mean, these books, you just laugh out loud in some of the stuff. They're just so
funny. How I feel about, why I love Sweet Ruin, or the last one. Gosh, but I just lost it. Wicked Abyss. Why I love that one.
I do. Yeah.
I stood up and cheered. I was like, do it. She did it. I had the same reaction when I read the first Knitting in the City book.
Oh, yes.
When the bad guy interrupts a knitting circle. Epic.
Yes. It's fantastic. Penny Reed is fantastic. We'll have to do a reread of Penny Reed.
Yeah, for sure.
I love the Winston brothers.
Well, because there was supposed to be, I'm going to check it right now.
The newest Winston brother coming out for Cletus. Is it out?
Stop.
No.
I'm like, Marriage and Murder and Espionage. I think is it part of the Solving for Pie, or is it part of the Winston brothers? I think it's part of the Winston brothers.
I think it's Solving. It's
outside. When she held it up, she held it up and it looked like a Beard book, not a Solving for Pie book. What is that?
So it's a Winston
book
brothers?
4.5, Beard in Hiding. Not available on Audible yet, but there's not been a 4.5 before.
Beard in Hiding?
Beard in Hiding.
That would make sense.
That would be what it is. I'm looking at right now.
But why would it be in 4.5? That doesn't make sense, because that's out of order of the. It doesn't happen there.
Beard in Hiding. Diane Donner, recently divorced pillar of light society, is craving danger. She's tired of playing it safe, and she knows just the sexy criminal motorcycle man to proposition for a good time. Problem is, she doesn't actually know his name. Jason Repo Doe, his last name is really Doe. Okay, sorry. Never takes risks. So when the queen of the local commerce walks into his club looking to get risky and frisky, Jason knows the smartest thing to do is save himself a headache while saving the new divorcee from her worst impulses. But then one thing leads to another, and the memory of just one night doesn't feel like quite enough. Theirs is a story with no future, because how can a dangerous criminal win and keep a queen? Beard in Hiding is book 4.5 in the Winston Brothers series, a full-length contemporary romantic comedy about two lost souls in their 40s, and it's a companion novel to the Winston Brothers and Solving for Pie series. If you get the full immersion of Green Valley, which I love, world experience, I recommend reading Truth or Beard, Beard Science, Engagement and Espionage, and Marriage and Murder beforehand. Beard in Hiding contains spoilers for these four books in specific.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because the espionage and
it's gonna, it's just like Untouchable. It's just like what we were talking about. I bet it's all built in between all of those.
Well, when does it come out? Release date. It says it's out.
Is the book out, just not the audio?
It says it's out November 16th, 2021.
It must not be out on audio. Penny. Okay. I might have to actually buy the book. My daughter is behind me laughing at me because she knows I just do audio. Do you hear her? She is laughing at me.
You can get it on Kindle and in paperback on Amazon.
You are not allowed to buy that for me for Christmas.
I didn't say anything.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to get it.
All right. Well, I have to hit the ground running here. I'm behind. So
all right.
I gotta go. My husband just had to fight to get the dog back in the house. He's not super cool with me right now.
My daughter's down here waiting for lunch. So,
okay.
Yeah. I love talking to you about this because I've been dying to talk to you about this, and I just would love to know what other people are thinking out there. So if you guys like this kind of stuff, please like and follow, hit subscribe. Let us know in the comments below if you're following along too. Don't forget, we are over on Instagram. We don't post a lot. We need to post more over there. But we are After Dark Book Club over there as well. You can join in the fun. All right, everybody. That's it from us. Talk to you later.
Bye, guys.